My serious drinking started roughly about 6-7 years ago.
I was in addiction for 5 years.
I was in addiction for 24 years.
I've been in addiction for 25 years.
I was in addiction full-blown for about 4 or 5 years.
I've been in addiction for 12 years.
Been in addiction probably for about 10 years now.
Pretty much used something since I was 14.
It really escalated after I left my ex-partner about 4 years ago.
I was in addiction from the age of 15.
I was in addiction for 13 years.
I've been in addiction for 19 years.
I've been in addiction since I was 15.
I've been in addiction for 14 years.
I started drinking when I was 14.
Using cannabis and cocaine for 19 years.
Been addicted to alcohol for the last 5 years.
My addiction's been 20 years at least.
I've been in addiction for over 30 years.
I've been in addiction probably now, or was, for about 18 years.
I've been sober now for 18 weeks.
130 days.
Just over 6 months.
38 days.
178 days.
10 weeks.
Nearly 3 months.
17 weeks.
About 15 weeks now.
3.5 weeks now.
14 weeks.
142 days.
4 weeks.
10 weeks.
For 11 months now.
Oh, 7 months.
7 weeks.
Coming up for 7 months.
7 months.
For 6 months.
I suffer with PTSD military, but I always thought that most of my problems were to do with the military, whereas actually deep brought to the front of my mind that my problems actually started when I was 7.
Been sexually abused when I was young, a few occasions. Yeah, just been in and out of care all my life, and that, my life has been backwards and forwards, in and out of care, foster parents, secure unit, prison.
Well, I first turned to drugs because I was getting bullied in school, not physically, but mentally. And it just basically shot, my confidence was on the floor. My self-esteem had gone, I was lonely, I was lost. I couldn't talk to anyone.
I didn't know how to conduct myself very well. And drink seemed like a good alternative to start with.
When I first started coming here, I was very nervous and very enclosed. It wasn't until Tam actually suggested to me that my addiction's affecting other people, which I now realise has. I never thought about it affecting my kids before now. I just thought that it affected me because of my childhood and what happened to me.
I just hit rock bottom and just didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, really.
I hated myself, I hated everyone around me. Having depression, I was crying every day. I didn't know what to do, who to turn to, how to get any help. Just completely lost and broken.
I always felt like that I've always been told how to feel, and then I always tried to tell myself how to feel, what I should be feeling. I wasn't allowed to mess up, but I did constantly, so that made me feel even worse. But now, you know, I understand it's okay to not be okay, and that I am just me.
I'd lost my family. I've got stepkids and I'd stopped seeing them. I'd lived in a tent. I got to the point I was using drugs every minute of every day. I was selling. Been arrested a number of times.
I went from being sort of a successful person with a family to being homeless for a good sort of 2 months, really. So it was a big fall, really, for me. Once I picked up sort of the drink and the drugs, the increase just meant I couldn't lead a normal life, and you know, lost everything. A beautiful wife, two little girls as well, who I've not spoken to for a year.
My son went to his dad because I could no longer look after him in the way that he needed looking after. My son's got autism. After my son had gone, my daughter couldn't cope anymore, so she went to live with my sister. And then that's when she started, you know, to tell me how I really made her feel.
Well, I knew that I needed to change. I was doing things that were really bad. And I just kept turning to alcohol and drugs.
and it got to the point where none of my family would speak to me. I was close to losing my house, and I was really close to going to prison as well.
Earlier on in the year, it was sort of a particularly bad time, so I tried to commit suicide 3 times. My drinking was spiralling out of control, to drinking all day, all night. Like I said, I tried to commit suicide, and then in the end, my family got involved, doctors got involved, referred back to Catherine House because I'd been there before.
I've heard so much about it and what it does for everybody else. I was very eager to get onto it. I bypassed ramp and came onto deep. It's the best thing I've ever done. I've got to know a lot more about myself. I've investigated my past, and it's made me be able to talk openly about things that I'd never spoken about before.
I'd been talking to people that had been on deep before. There were some people there that had been on deep and said, yeah, you should do it. It's you know, really good. It cleanses you and gets you to think about your addiction and what triggers you and it'll help to get you off and, you know, look at yourself and look at your addiction. So I thought that would be a good idea.
Excuses to drink. I thought I deserved it. I had a hard life. Fear, bereavement, anxiety. Just hiding it all away. Tried numerous things myself to stop my drinking, and I felt so alone, so...
I wouldn't have stopped using if I didn't get some help. It was ingrained in my life. Cannabis I thought I needed. Cocaine was habitual use every weekend. The cocaine was just chaotic. It was using, even though my children weren't in the house at the time, I was still a father of 4 and still using cocaine, spending a lot of money on it, and taking, you know, days, sometimes a week to recover.
I got drunk and I went to pick my little ones up from school. Social services got involved. They referred me to the services. I was in complete denial. And I couldn't do it on my own. I think I'd hit the end of the road. I was suicidal, depressed. My relationship with my kids was hanging by a thread. I'd cut my family off, my friends, everybody. I was just completely alone.
I didn't know who I was. I'd lost. I didn't know what I was looking for. And I was deeply unhappy, and I put on a front to everybody who was around me, which wasn't me. But I didn't know what that was, and I didn't know where to start looking for it.
I wanted to change my life. I'd separated from my partner after 21 years due to my alcohol, and I just wanted to change.
Run out of options. I've done ramp twice, detox twice, wife's gone once, lost the kids, no job, no money, threat of losing the house, just run out of options. Deep as everyone's been telling me for 2 years, go deep, try deep. So I think there's only about 5 months left to go before it shuts down, so I thought, well, I'm going to have to do something because I can't live like this anymore. So I came and tried.
Very scared at first, but then after time and time again, and also with a decent counsellor who was always asking the right questions, I've managed to come out of my shell and share and have trust in the other people in the room with me.
You come away with a sense of relief at the end of it, at the end of each session, that you've done some good, and that you know you're getting a bit closer to the person that you are.
Emotional, because it's like hearing other people's stories as well, and it brings a lot of memories back. You know, like when people say they can't see the mum or whatever, or they can't see the dad, it just brings back memories. But it makes me a stronger person though. It makes me want to do it, embrace it.
To begin with, it made me very angry, holding on to the resentment of when I was young, of the military, you know, of my wife beating me, the whole thing, and it released the resentment for me.
Deep was, as in the words of my son, I told you, Mum, it was going to be deep, because I got out of there and I said, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, but I stuck with it, the whole thing. I didn't open up initially, so that was to my detriment. But eventually, once I did, I got so much from it. It was just unbelievable.
Came to Deep more because I was told to by the social services, quite sort of dubious about it. It was when I got in here and started getting into it that it really did start to help me. So what I found is not really what I was looking to find.
That's the good thing about it, because it puts a different look on it than your own eyes, which also helps you look at it from other people's point of view. You know, your family, friends, all the people you've hurt, you know, you have to put yourself in their shoes and things like that. And it started to give me a little bit of confidence about myself, and also trying to give me a bit of an awareness about myself and a balance.
I really look forward to coming in to Deep. Like, it goes into my past behaviours and why I've done some of the things I've done, and I'm getting a realisation for some of the things I've done, and going back and I'm learning how to change that.
I'm starting to connect with people, starting to see, you know, things about what everyone's been through, and that it's just nice to know that I'm not alone, I've not gone through things, and that I'm the only one. You know, it is nice to see other people. I think it's brought me out my shell a hell of a lot.
Sometimes you feel so isolated that you've done those things and you're the only one. Listening to other people's stories and experiences makes you feel not the individual that you think that you are.
The experience of Deep has been very emotional. I came in here quite defensive, thinking that there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have major character defects. After a while, you just have to accept it. That's what you've become. It's not the person that you are, it's what you've become through the addiction.
Growing up, there was a lot of domestic violence, so we moved around a lot, different refuges, and I've got a terminally ill child, so there was a lot of problems there. And obviously, instead of me dealing with it how other people would deal with it, I decided to hit the alcohol and drugs. Quite hard, like to speak about. But I know why they bring up, why you need to talk about it, and why they bring all that stuff up. It's because you do need to deal with it all.
I've got an understanding of why I was who I was, you know, how I took that path and went to that dark place, and I found a way out of it.
It was painful at times, you know, but I'd never experienced a group like it, a group of people, you know, never experienced like genuine caring, no like ulterior motives.
Loved it. Now that you can go, it's safe there to talk, and you're not on your own. And the therapist as well, been through it, not reading out of a textbook. It was really comforting.
I'd describe it as being stripped absolutely bare to your soul. Things that you'd hid for years, which I hid everything. I always saw myself as weak for crying, and things I didn't talk about that I hid from my family that only come out when I went to court.
I was sad, I was lonely, I didn't have any contact with my daughter. And yeah, because she's noticed a difference, because she said to me the other day, "Mummy looks so much happier." Because she must have been sad for all those years seeing a drunk mother. And it must have caused her so much pain. And I've been selfish, obviously, thought about the drink more than her. But that's got to change.
I'm only 8 weeks in, so I haven't finished it yet. But, and it is hard, you know, because you have to take a look at yourself, and sometimes you might not like what you find, but you find it, you have to accept that.
I felt better every time I went. I felt like I needed to go. Weekends, I don't like weekends too much. I'm on my own, and I thought Monday's coming too, so I'll be all right. I got Deep, and yeah. Every week I got better and better. I felt better. People say I look better, I'm getting better, and talk better, and I'm nicer to people.
It's only as brutal as you let it be. Like if you go in there and don't say anything and don't put your barriers down and you don't be honest, then, you know, that is what it is. But if you're honest, open and willing, then it is, you know, amazing.
What am I grateful for? I've got my family back.
Waking up with a clear mind in the morning, having a clear direction in my life.
I'm grateful the fact that I've got a life now. I didn't have a life at all.
I'm grateful for my family, for myself, for all the other people that have helped me to get to this point.
I'm grateful that my family stuck by me.
Just being alive and having the ability to be clean, help each other who need help.
I'm definitely grateful for my family, massively, because I put them through torture, through addiction. My mum, my stepdad, my dad, my brother, my grannies, you know. It's not nice what I put them through, you know. I've been able to come to deep, you know, and get the counselling about where I've been and what I've done and who I am, but they're still left with all that, what I put them through. I'm grateful for getting clean and giving them a bit of peace of mind as well, knowing that I'm safe.
Basic things, I'm grateful to be happy and not feel down all the time. I'm very grateful just for having somewhere to live and food to eat. I'm grateful for all that I live with who have introduced me to deep.
Little things, it's just like a bike ride in the morning. You know, just the small things for today, and being able to spend time with my children and put my mascara on without shaking, which is a reminder every morning of it's just the little things.
I'm grateful for just waking up in the morning and knowing, and the main thing is I've got a choice today. A choice that I didn't have when I was drinking, because the only choice I had was to go and find a drink to get me through the day. I can wake up in the morning and have a choice of what to do, and it's to become a better person.
I'm grateful to the treatment centre that I'm in, and I'm very grateful to Deep. But I'm also grateful, and I'm very lucky, I've got my family behind me. They've stood behind me all the way. And I'm grateful that my two beautiful children still want me in their lives.
I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be in recovery. I'm grateful to have my children. I forgot all about, you know, the importance of my children and the beauty of my children in addiction.
I'm grateful to have support, and I'm grateful that I feel a lot stronger to deal with my problems now. And I'm grateful that I'm clean.
What am I not grateful for? It's magic. Grateful to be alive, you know. Grateful to the relationship with my daughter and actually having the ability to be a responsible and loving parent.
I'm grateful to be out, not isolated. Grateful for the people I've met, and I'm grateful for another chance of being a better mum.
I'm grateful for being alive. I didn't think I'd ever say that. Going back to February, all I wanted to do was die. Basically, I didn't want to be alive anymore. But I'm totally grateful for being alive and having chance to get back to the kind of person that I can remember that I sort of was years ago.
My kids, first and foremost. Not needing to use drugs. Much more stable and level mind. Just becoming a normal person. That's what I give my kids, a normal life.
My children, but I've still got my children. Something else I learned in Deep was to be grateful what you've got now rather than focusing on what you've lost, because I could have lost them as well. I'm grateful that I've got a chance with my future, that I'm alive today, that I'm in recovery today.
Grateful for all the friends I made. I'm grateful for being sober. I'm grateful for not having to wake up thinking about taking a drink to get through the day. Family. Everyone that's stuck by me and stood up for me.
I'm so grateful I've stopped drinking. I never thought I would. I do a lot of art and craft things, so my art, I'm doing a lot more art and getting a lot more confidence in my art.
I'm still alive. I've still got my house, I've still got my job. I've still got certain friends in my life. I've lost a few of them. That was down to me drinking. But and having my daughter back in my life.
Get real, to start talking, and to keep talking.
Learn who you are and be the best that you can be.
Don't give up. It always seems like it's really hard and emotional, and you don't want to face a lot of the feelings that you get when you come to deep, but it's worth it in the long run.
Nothing in life is a problem, it's all a challenge, and just keep on doing what you're doing and stay focused, stay motivated.
It's not a rumour. Life is better without drugs.
Life is beautiful without a drink or a drug. I never thought I'd say that. I always thought I needed a drink to gain confidence, for people to like me. It's not the case. I am who I am today, and that's because I'm not drinking, and I feel a much better person for it.
It'd be to anyone out there in addiction, it is possible to sort your life out. You just have to make them steps yourself and get help.
Is to have the courage and bravery to sort of step through the doors of anywhere that will want to give you any help, really, because you cannot do it on your own. I tried for a very long time to do it on my own and ended up at rock bottom, and the only way out is to be brave enough and strong enough to admit and put the hand out for help.
And it's just nice to know that all I have to do is pick up the phone and I've got someone there to talk to, whether it be day or night.
Basically, as long as you don't pick up that first drink or drug and you stick to it, everything else is a doddle.
You definitely get out what you put in. It works. And to talk to people. Somebody once said to me, you need to talk about what's going on. I said, no, but it works.
If you get the chance to do anything like deep, just grab it, put your all in, and you'll get a lot out.
The most important thing is never give up. When it really gets hard, keep working, keep digging, never give up, because it's worth every little bit of it.
I think the most important thing is that you have to accept first that you're an alcoholic and that you have a problem with alcohol. The second step's asking for help and doing it for yourself.
Just don't lie to yourself. So that's the main thing, is denial. But just be honest with yourself, and then the rest will come.
Stick at your abstinence. It is tough, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I'd just like to say that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and if you do your best, do it for yourself, and there's loads of help out there. Do it for others, do it for yourself, and just work hard at it. It can be done. Life's not that bad.
Probably that there is hope, that there is a future, it can get better, and people can help you, but at the end of the day, it has got to come from you.
You've got to be honest. Before you can be honest with anybody else, you've got to be honest with yourself. It is okay to get help. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel things.
I'd like to tell my family how much I love them. And I'm sorry for all the pain. I'd like to thank my family for the support, after everything that I've put them through, and for them never giving up on me.
Ice, blue